We've reached the week of Christmas. Christmas is just a few days away. Last week we talked about Mary finding out that she was going to have a son. And this week we are jumping ahead to shortly before Jesus is born, when Mary and Joseph have to travel to Bethlehem to register in the Roman census. So this week I'm going to add some animals to our nativity scene, for a few reasons. What picture comes to mind when you imagine Mary and Joseph traveling to Bethlehem? Are they traveling alone, with Joseph leading a donkey that Mary is riding on? As we've retold and retold this story from Luke 2, 1 through 5, we've imagined it in certain ways, and those imaginations have stuck. If you look up Luke 2, 1 through 5, you will find no mention of a donkey or any other animals. It's likely that Mary and Joseph both walked to Bethlehem, and that they traveled with other people who were also going there. But animals, whether it's a donkey that Mary supposedly rode on or animals around the manger, are important to our imagining of Christmas. I think they do two things for the story. One is that we tend to imagine them peacefully, maybe lying nicely like these animals here. And I think that image or feeling is similar to the one we get when we sing Silent Night. It makes us feel like everything is going to be okay, and reminds us of God's love and care for us, even as He cares for the animals. Our theme word for this week is love, and I think that the addition of animals also reminds us of something else about God's love. While we might picture animals as peaceful, being around them is usually not considered luxurious, and we also often remember that animals can be messy and dirty and are not usually around when babies are born. So imagining animals can remind us of how God's deep love for us was shown in the circumstances in which Jesus was born. Regardless of the existence or lack thereof of certain animals, Jesus was born to a poor family who was likely scorned by many of their neighbors and friends for their apparent immorality in getting pregnant before they were married, and who had just traveled over 70 miles while expecting their baby because the ruling empire decided it wanted them to. Likely because it wanted to make sure it was taxing everyone. But no matter how you look at it, this is hardly the expected entrance for the King of Kings. But that shows how great God's love is. Jesus didn't just drop in a flash of light and grandly announce His plan to save us while forcing everyone to worship Him. He chose to live among us, and not among the rich and comfortable, but among the poor and disgraced. He came first to those who were considered insignificant, and He was there for the long haul. He probably could have made things easier for Himself and His family, but He did not take shortcuts. He lived the life the people around Him were living, including the long journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem. So, as you celebrate Christmas this week, remember all the things that Jesus did and experienced to show His love for you. And also remember that Jesus identified with the least and the last. And think about what that means for us as His followers as we seek to honor Him and His birth this week.